Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today we're going to continue with Sarah Bombranick's Simple Abundance, 365 Days to a Balanced and Joyful Life. March 20th, Inner Beauty, Outward Charm. We can't all look like Beyonce, but we can each look our best. Simplicity plays a part in striking the right chord of self. This occurs naturally as we begin to rethink how to put together our best look, our authentic look. Gradually, we learn that the less is more approach applies to makeup and fashion as well as to decorating and entertaining. Ironically, this desire to look our best comes after we have committed to our inner work. As we go within, searching for spiritual growth, we begin to blossom on the outside. Time well spent in meditation gives us more serenity, and it shows on our faces. Learning to love ourselves exactly as we are gives us the motivation to move forward, whether in searching for a healthier way of eating or finding the right exercise regime. Perhaps we're starting to wear makeup more frequently and caring how we dress, even if we're just working from home, doing errands, or driving children to afternoon activities. These are subtle changes that have a profound impact on how we feel about ourselves. Why does working on our inner beauty produce outward charm? Perhaps it's because the two are inexorably connected. A Gnostic axiom teaches, as is the inner, so is the outer. Women who realize their full potential delight the great creator with their brilliance. Marianne Williamson tells us that the process of personal transformation, whether it be in our lifestyle or in our appearance, is the true work of spiritual growth. I believe her. March 21st, coming into balance. As I write, I'm recovering from an hour spent falling down and then picking myself up, just to fall down again. I'm bruised, out of breath, still wobbly, even though I'm sitting down, and exhausted. Exactly the way I'm supposed to be, according to my fencing instructor, who placed me in the center of a core board and expected me to stay standing as I lunged my way to humiliation. Hopefully, I'll be returning to fencing and horseback riding as personal sports, but I'm flummoxed to discover that I have to get in better physical condition to do either activity. And I'm thrown off to realize how unequal the right and left sides of my body are with regard to balance and strength. But I'm told in sports and in life, you can't find your balance until you completely lose it. And then, if you don't use it, you will lose it. All too often, we think of living in balance. We approach balance in the same frantic, rushing way that we approach the rest of our lives. Ann Wilson Schaaf, author of Meditations for Living in Balance, reminds us. We want to balance work and home. We want to balance relationships. We want to work out and exercise and eat good food. We want to stay healthy so we can do more. We want to fill everything up, ourselves, our time, our activities, our relationships, and our lives. If we're not careful, we will add balancing our lives as another task on our long list of doing too much. This week is the vernal equinox, when light and darkness find equal balance in the natural world. It's also a perfect time for us to consider how we can find more balance in the many aspects of our busy lives. For most of us, doing too much feels normal. In any 24-hour period, we're constantly pulled in a dozen different directions: work, children, personal relationships, chores, errands, friends, family, finances, promises to others, health concerns, deadlines, and our own unfulfilled dreams and desires, which leaves little time for reflection, renewal, and recreation, the holy trinity of balance. Let's start thinking of them as rites of passage to contentment. So get off the teeter-totter of your to-do list and find an armchair. One of the more delightful ways to find balance is to realize that not everything needs doing has to be done today. Many tasks and issues in our lives will take care of themselves if we will but let them, Ann Wilson Schaefer recommends. The impossible task that had to be accomplished immediately looks very different tomorrow or next week. Often, I have found that when others are pushing something as urgent, my best response is just to slow down. Or, as the Zen koan reminds us, sitting quietly, doing nothing, spring comes and the grass grows by itself. March 22nd, why self-confidence can't be bought, but it can be borrowed. It would be wonderful if we could simply waltz up to a cosmetics counter and purchase a bottle of self-confidence the way we can buy revitalizing or performance creams for our faces. Unfortunately, this spiritual elixir, like any expensive perfume, is different on every woman because of individual chemistry. When I was younger, my self-confidence potion was heavily scented with attitude, optimism, and faith. Experience, knowledge, and wisdom had to come later. But even today, every new opportunity or challenge requires that I prepare a special batch of Moxie for myself. I do this by becoming as thoroughly prepared as possible and by looking the part. Wearing an outfit, for example, that exudes self-confidence, even when it's hanging in the closet. Next, I say my prayers and ask for the power to be switched on. Then it's showtime. I act as if I'm self-confident and the world takes me as such. When you're unsure of yourself, but life requires you to be otherwise, it is comforting to remember that you can always borrow a self-confident attitude from your authentic self. She knows how terrific you are and can give you that little boost, which is all you really need. Our subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what's real and what's imaginary, which is why creative visualization works. If we act as if we're confident, we become so, at least for a little while. You must do the thing that you think you cannot do, Eleanor Roosevelt, the longest-serving American First Lady, once observed. And her life was spent proving the point. When life challenges arise, you can surmount them by calling on spirit and borrowing the scent of self-confidence from your authentic self. I'm sure you've all heard the term fake it till you make it. That's so true. I mean, just act as if you are confident, even if you're not. Act as if you're competent, even if you're not. And you will see the difference in how you perform and how everyone views you and how you view yourself. Until tomorrow, I hope you have an amazing and blessed day.